Hey, Skeeter Nation, it's time to take care of our procedural training for our PSAT and College Focus Day. So if you'll just bear with us, by now you should have completed the College Board portion of the training that Allie Clemens has sent out. It's complete with a checklist. You have something to do in Test Day Toolkit. You also have an actual College Board training to complete where you will make sure to place an electronic copy of or upload your certificate in the folder designated in Allie's email. Make sure you've done all that. It was actually due today. I'm recording this on Friday and we're going to send it out on Monday. So let's get started. Make sure that you always know that the training itself never, ever takes the place of reading the contents and the manuals that are provided. They all go hand in hand. They're all part of training. Once you've completed your training and read your information, make sure you submit your training verification form. It's due by Friday, October 3rd. And it looks like this. You might want to go there first. There are some things that you can go ahead and fill out. And there are some questions that are really more about your room or different things that help us to make sure that we have all the most current information, maybe about the seats in your room. And so make sure you've taken care of that. All the content for this training, all content can be found in this folder. So we're going to go to that College Focus Day folder. There are things that we're not going to touch on today, but I'm going to show you where they are. This top folder, 10A senior non-testing rooms. If you are in a room in K-Hall, if you're assigned to one of those rooms, you'll know no later than Tuesday. Your assignments will be populated in this folder as well. And there will be a shareable student locations and shareable info. It's in this shareable folder. You are welcome to post it to your Google Classroom. In fact, we ask that you post it in there. We ask that you share it with kids. Nothing else should be shared if it is outside of this folder. Here's the folder where the training certificates should have been placed for College Board. Please don't email them to Allie or Estella or myself or drop them off. We will ask you to make sure that you follow directions that Ms. Clemens has left, and they go in this folder. Here's the training slides. There's a practice script for PSAT and a practice script for NMSQT. Our 9th graders are taking the 8-9. As Allie has already explained, our 10th and 11th graders are taking the 10th and 11th. Checklist, we'll talk about in a little bit. Seating chart, this is a seating chart you'll use. You'll have a copy that's provided for you, but that's just so you can go ahead and see what's happening. And PSAT steps to test day. There are things to make sure that you have looked at in here. So let's go ahead and jump back into our training. So this is what it's going to look like. So on Monday, training shared. No later than Tuesday, staff assignments will be shared via email and also placed in the folder. Wednesday, 1 week out, we will begin having Blue Bush readiness checks during SSC. I will come over the announcement. Allie will have sent an email. We'll direct you to do this. We have to make sure that all of our computers are current, and College Board just got through rolling out an update, and the only way the update takes is to make sure that we do this readiness check. We'll repeat the readiness check in SSC later in the week, but from Wednesday on, make sure you are reminding students of their room assignment. We're going to fix that right now. Oh, sorry. Reminding students of their room assignment. It is for 10-8, not 10-29. And there have been several of us that have proofread this, so we're sorry about that. And also that you know where you're going. If things change, I do try to send you an email if we have to make a change, because sometimes we do. Sometimes that just happens. But if we have to make a change, I will inform you as best I can. But regardless, make sure you're checking the staff assignments, the rosters, the alpha student list, whatever it is that is best for you to check, make sure that you're current in your information. Blue Book readiness check. So the first one we'll do is on Wednesday, October 1st. Then we will do another one on Monday, October 6th and Tuesday, October 7th. We will be doing these just to make sure we're ready to go, and any incidents will be reported. Allie will send out the information on how to do that. And then Wednesday, October 8th is College Focus Day at Mesquite. 9th, 10th, and 11th grade will be taking some form of the PSAT, whether it's 8, 9, or NMSQT. And 12th grade will be participating in college activities and having senior checks. They need to be here. Please let your seniors know. Counselors are meeting in those rooms. There are college activities happening in those rooms. They need to be at school, and attendance is always vital to being at school. All right, so anything in the shared folder you're able to post. It says please post a link to the Alpha student list. It's actually a student list. Excuse me. It's actually a student list that is by their ID number, because that can be shared, because there's no way a student, unless they've memorized all kinds of, it's just crazy. So their 9 number will be on there. There'll be a 9 number order. A student can hit Control S for their 9 number. It will tell them what room they're supposed to report to on the 8th. Please, please, please talk about being on time, because as you well know, the tardy bell rings at 8:30. Students should be in class by then. There are some still wandering to class, but we are shutting doors at 8:40. And the moment you start reading information, the directions to your students, there is no admittance. So there may be a little bit of lapse time between you shutting the door and that taking place, but it should be very minimal. We've got to be on schedule if we have any shot of getting to lunches on time, and y'all know that can cause all kinds of problems if we have to adjust lunchtime. All right, so room assignments will be utilized until an announcement's made. Please don't make up your own time to switch rooms until an announcement is made to go to regular schedule. Everyone will stay in their assigned location unless notified. An assist for testing rooms will notify, or we'll use emails for non-testing rooms. We'll use an announcement when everybody is finished. Communication will be happening, so make sure you're reading emails if you're in a non-testing room, but if you're in a testing room, your assist will inform you. We hope to go to 3A as on time as close as possible, or as close to it as possible. Just be flexible. Our testing rooms are in C, A, and L. We've already told you who's testing. Here's the deal. Desks need to be arranged in distinct rows, spaced out about 3 feet from the head to head. So the middle of one desk to another, 3 feet. 3 feet. Their testing rooms are 25 or less. So you need to have 25 desks set up. If you have more than 25 desks, please put your extra desk in a section all together, stacked, some way that's not taking away from where testers are going to be, and that allows for more movement in the room. We are going to begin having room checks at the end of the day, Monday, October 6th. Yes, we will send out a link that says, if you're taking responsibility for your room, and that's for your desk arrangement, everything that could help or hinder someone on an English or math test will have to be covered by the end of the day, Monday, October 6th. We can't wait to cover walls. I understand that some of you like to have groups, and you utilize those groups maybe just so you have more space in your room, maybe for actual group work. Regardless, your room arrangement, you have to fill out the form if your room is not going to be ready for a room check, but every room will be checked for contents on the walls and in halls. If it could help or hinder someone on math or English, please cover it up. Please cover it up. All right. Mueller will assign kids that are too late to test, and we're just going to have to keep in communication. Students are always going to have to be escorted, so make sure that we are aware of what's going on. If you're an assist, if you're a late escort, We're probably going to divide up some late escorts from at the front and then probably some in our testing hallways, because if they're too late to test, we've got to get them to Mueller for him to assign them where they will stay until we go back to regular schedule. This says staff in the library and ROTC rooms, but it's going to be ROTC rooms, and in E-Hall, we're going to use the library for SAT testing. So let me fix that real quick. I like that I will fix this as we go, and I thank you for your grace in this moment. E1, E2, and ROTC. All right, non-testing rooms are mostly seniors. The senior rooms will be in K-Hall. The other few non-testing rooms that we have, there's some students going to be working on Summit and some in iReady, and they'll be in lower C. There will also be some extended time testers for PSAT and lower C as well. So just be aware of that. Everyone has to submit their attendance by 10 a.m. If you are giving the test, yes, you still submit it in Test Day Toolkit. And then make sure that your attendance is correct by 10 in our shared online sheet. Notice it says highlight here. So if they're here, you do not type anything. You just highlight it yellow. If a student is absent, this is the only thing you will actually type in that box for the moment. As far as attendance goes, you'll type absent. Remember, testing rooms will submit this in the Google Sheet and as directed in Test Day Toolkit. If you submit your attendance before 10, you're going to have to make sure that it's correct by 10. And also, don't make our attendance ladies call. The other thing I'm going to tell you, see this little thing right here? Our Google Sheet will have high traffic. Don't panic. It doesn't mean it's broken. It just means we all have to have patience with each other. Assist and try to help too, and help with that attendance process. All right, when you go to non-testing rooms, in this same folder, like we talked about, there's a non-testing room folder for seniors. Mr. Lewis, counselors in EIF, as well as Advise Texas, will be updating the agenda and coming by to check on senior rooms. It's also okay for you to have students work on assignments from the regularly scheduled class once the agenda provided for that day is complete. All right, so here's our general timeline. We need to follow this. So if you need to bookmark it, if you need to print just this one slide, whatever needs to happen, let's try to make that occur. 7:45 to 8, you need to check out materials from the testing office. That is L109. So if you are new to our campus, that's L109. And let's just talk about that for a second. Staff assignments, we're going to talk about those in a moment, but I also want to make sure to say, if you're new to our campus, you will have a buddy. There are other people that are going to have a buddy too, just because it helps. If you have two people in a room, things go faster and we make less errors. We also don't always have that liberty, and that's where assists come into play. So just keep that in mind. All right, so once you check out your materials, you're done checking out by 8. Yes, that's earlier than normal, but we have to be in place on time. You'll go to your assigned testing room. You'll make sure your stuff is set up. You'll sign into Toolkit, and you'll be reading the brief script from Toolkit. Place the tickets on the desk, put your do not disturb sign on the door. And from 8:25 to 8:30, when those initial bell, when they start, you're kind of taking initial roll as students arrive. They come to the door, they show you their ID, you point them in the direction, you check them off, you mark them here in Test Day Toolkit, all these things. 8:30 to 8:35, reassess attendance. Please don't wait till the bell rings to start doing this process, or it will have everyone delayed in your room. Fill out the Chromebook checkout information for students who do not bring one. Remember, we're limited. They are going to go to juniors first. Juniors are competing for National Merit Scholar. When we run out, if we run out, there will be students that won't be able to test. They will be escorted to the too late to test room. It's just how that's going to work. So make sure that you are doing what you can to make someone's Chromebook work. If they brought one, chargers, if you need to move somebody's seat, just don't fill out your seating chart till everybody's starting to test. Okay? That would probably be the best thing. Notice it says at 8:40, close your doors. Students who show up at this point will be directed to a room by Mueller. Technically, if somebody slides in and you haven't started reading the information in test day to your kids, they could start. But good rule of thumb is let's get this going. If you are reading, tell the assist, we're starting. The moment you're ready to read, tell your assist so they can go ahead and help redirect students. All right, continue to follow your PSAT checklist. That is in your folder. There's a practice script, and it kind of shows you things that are happening here. And in our slides here, we've got screenshots. It's a rough outline. It tells you what students are going to do. Students are going to complete another readiness check, and they should go in through the app, through the Blue Book app. Nobody signs into their computer. Make sure you're monitoring them and guiding them according to your checklist, and that's when you're in Test Day Toolkit. It will help you. When all the students have completed this, you'll read the script. When you start reading that script, give them the code to begin and put the code on the board. At that moment, students will begin to be individually timed. My timing, you don't have to set a timer. Timing is individually monitored. Students are going to be within seconds of each other, maybe within a minute of each other. Just know that. All right, the Blue Book readiness check. This is the things that we're having to make sure the operating system is current and that everything is as it should be within that app. That is where the test will be. It will be brought into the computer that day. And so even if we go offline for a little bit, it will still house their answers. As long as we're back online when they're ready to submit, we're good. Okay, so here's the steps for Blue Book readiness check. I'm not going to go into all those, but that is the thing that will happen 8:35, 8:40-ish. You shut the door. Kids may have already started through some of these processes, so make sure you're reading all your directions and all your steps. Those processes continue here. Tells them what they're going to provide. I'm also sending information about Big Future School and how they have the option to share their phone number. A lot of our students have already done this. I'm sending that out to parents, probably Monday. And if students are 11th grade, then there's a few questions about their eligibility to enter the National Merit Scholarship Program. And y'all, in case you didn't know, this year we have a finalist. We've got great kids and we've got great potential, so it could be someone else. All right, so they keep following the setup, the exam setup, and this just gives you an overview. When all of that is complete, it'll begin their test. Follow the directions that appear on your screen in Test Day Toolkit. All right, so staff assignments, there are so many roles that someone could have. They're not limited to these, but most of these will be utilized. Staff assignments for 10-8 will be shared no later than Tuesday, September 30th. And I understand that since that is one of your questions on your form, your confirmation form, people will not turn the confirmation form in. In fact, I'm going to turn it off until staff assignments are released. So the form won't be broken. You just can't submit it until I release staff assignments, because we want you to look where you go and make sure that you've told us so that we're all on the same page. All right. Sure. All right. And don't forget, that means to remember, Wednesday, October 8th should be considered a blackout day. All absences have to go through our school absence form. They have to be approved. We can't handle absences of enormous proportion on this day. That being said, things come up, emergencies happen. There are things going on in some of your families right now, and I get it, believe me. And for me, it's family first always. If you could, please do the courtesy of reaching out to me via text. I don't care what time it is. I very likely will not see it in the middle of the night, but it will be waiting on me when I wake up. It will just allow me the time to prepare for our kids, if that can even be a consideration. And if you are in such an emergency that it can't, know that I understand. But the key to any of this is to communicate. So make sure that you're doing your training, you're reading your materials and your emails, you're asking us questions, and then we're all on the same page and we're doing what's best for kids. All right. So if you have questions, ask. I cannot make things better unless I know there's a problem. We already talked about consider this a blackout day. A link to the alpha list or the shared list, it's actually by the 9 numbers. It will be shared by Tuesday, September 30th. When you post this link, please also talk about what's happening and the importance of attendance. Kids should not leave money on the table. And this is a great opportunity to qualify for some scholarship money. Remember only to share what's in the shareable folder. Staff assignments will be on the same worksheet as your rosters. Make sure you look at tabs carefully. And that also will appear in the folder no later than September 30th. Here is my cell phone number. So please, please, please text me if you have an emergency. If anything happens like that, text me, call me, or email me. I am bwilliams@mesquiteisd.org. All right, so you made it through the actual training video. Make sure that you've read over all your materials. Know that we're just going to do our best. Everybody do your best to follow the guidelines, keep us on the same page, communicate. We're all going to be mindful of all the things and prepare for excellence. So once you've done all that, you can submit your form. And remember, the form will be closed until staff assignments are posted no later than Tuesday. By the time you even get this video, they could already be posted. So staff assignments have been posted in the folder. You can also go ahead and submit your verification form. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much.